Welcome, audience. I am your host tonight, the Narrator. Today, in our esteemed radio theater, you will see a story about a child's innocence and the death of it. Much like the fragile flicker of a candle's flame, the tenuous grasp of childhood innocence is ethereal, beautiful, bright, yet vulnerable to the slightest cruelty of a mere breeze. Today we bring you the tragic tale of Gretel Grimm. We set our scene in Adderskin Wood, a dark spruce forest just beyond reach of a quiet suburban settlement. Legend has it all kinds of monsters lurk within the woods, and no creature, man or beast, dares to set foot within this dark, godless realm.
Well, I do.
The hour is 1 o'clock in the morning. It is dark as pitch outside. The only light in the forest comes from the distant glow of houses and the light of the weary half-moon giving everything a faint silvery color. Something approaches Adderskin Wood. A small kitten, with pale gray fur and eyes like turquoise stones, who ambles into the forest, unaware of the horrors that will greet her.
No, I'm perfectly aware, Narrator. I'm going here for fun.
Child, are you aware that we are telling a dramatic story here?
I'm aware of that too.
Whatever. Anyway, Gretel, our feline protagonist, wanders into the forest, her eyes gleaming with curiosity. She has refused to listen to the tales her elders told her of the evils within this place. Assassins, wolves, creatures beyond our comprehension. Gretel has refused to listen to it all, for in her childlike simplicity she simply cannot comprehend such evil.
Of course I do. That's what makes it exciting.
And, because of these horrors, tonight, a part of her will die.
Of fun?
Shut up, child. But look, what flies yonder onto a young branch above? Why, it is a young sparrow, its eyes filled with light and its breast filled with song, a symbol of Gretel's innocence. Perched above the forest floor, Gretel admires the creature. She reflects on their shared traits. Both herself and the sparrow are young, delicate, unsullied creatures.
Cool! Sparrow meat tastes great this time of year.
Child, that was a sign of your innocence? How are we supposed to make a narratively compelling story when you seem hell-bent on anything but?
I don't know, you tell me. But sparrows taste great when cooked with a little bit of basil on the side.
Fine. Next scene. Our young lass comes across a massive, daunting house with tall spires that scab the sky.
This is a shack. There's a hole in the wall. I wish it were as intimidating as you think it is. I've seen scarier sheds in the parking lot of Home Depot.
Whatever. Anyway, there is an assortment of large knives nailed to the edge of the house.
That I can see. Nice.
That's because, unbeknownst to our tragic heroine,
I can hear you.
there are assassins who lurk within this very building.
Awesome! Do I get to kill them?
As she approaches the house, the two assassins eye her curiously. They have been looking for something to kill recently. Something young, naive, and defenseless. And a kitten like Gretel is just the sort of thing they are looking for. One of them, a tall man with a shadowy face and patchy clothing, reaches for his knife and jumps out and stabs Gretel in the eye.
Is something supposed to happen?
And jumps out and stabs Gretel in the eye. Assassin number 1, where the hell are you?
It's our break hour.
Your what?
My sister here, who I work with, and I kill people between 9 and 12 o'clock, and then between 2 and 4 o'clock. This is our break hour. Everyone has one. The assassin unions are a stickler for this type of thing.
Killing gets exhausting, you know. Come back another time.
Hey, works for me. Good news, really. Your union leverages the power of your members and the community precisely to put pressure on employers to agree to a fair and just contract for its workers. Perfectly within reason.
Besides, narrator, you didn't pay us in advance.
Didn't even set up a direct deposit. It costs only $38. Come on, what a cheapskate.
It's like he's never heard of collective bargaining.
I get it. Back to the story.
Furthermore, why would you think we would just kill randomly? Do you go around itching to narrate in your spare time? It's a job like any other. We do not like doing it.
Well, maybe he doesn't like doing it.
It just pays the bills. Think this through. What do we have to gain from this?
And even then, we wouldn't just kill whoever because someone told us to do it. We have standards, you know.
Honestly, it's a bit disheartening. We aren't just bad people because we kill people. Okay, on one hand, that does sound kind of bad. But we aren't just mindless, apathetic killers, you know. We have dreams. You know, I wanted to be a lawyer.
Ugh, here he goes with this whole lawyer thing again.
Which is, I think, a more respectable job than a narrator that can't even bother to pay us in advance.
Didn't even use our private reservation option where they could bury the body themselves if they'd like. Hey, wait a moment. Audience out there, have you ever wanted someone dead to a disturbing degree? Well, if so, come on down to...
Fine, we're leaving. Anyway, despite this minor setback in our story, our heroine will still undoubtedly face a tragic ending and the loss of her innocence.
Awfully bold of you to assume I ever had innocence in the first place.
I am going to purposefully ignore your wanton comments, child, and do the job I was paid to do.
Probably paid in advance, weren't they?
With direct deposit, no doubt.
For now, we move on to our next scene. Also, child, let go of the dead bird. I am aware the audience can't see it, but you aren't doing a very good job of making yourself endearing to them. And it's gross. The feathers are everywhere. After her harrowing experience with the assassins,
Which never happened.
Gretel comes across a thicket of trees with bark as pale as hare's fur and leaves like waxed paper. Their limbs are long but curled as if they beckon before her, and plump red fruits hang within their branches, a sign of sanctuary in this dark, grim place. Gretel leans closer, about to pluck the crisp fruit away, but then the tree's limbs move around her, grabbing her and hoisting her in the air. For these are no ordinary trees. These are monstrous, living trees, embittered by the world around them and ready to pounce. For nobody in this world, Gretel, is safe. There are no sanctuaries from the grueling thing we call life.
Alright, wow, this is real interesting and all. And I'm enjoying the rampant pessimism on your part. But I'm gonna have to cut it short.
Where did you get that?
Well, I prepared. I knew the forest was dangerous, so I figured it'd be best to bring my chainsaw. I keep it in my yard shed, along with all my other weapons. You know, knives, grenades, an F-14 fighter jet.
How are you carrying it, even? You're a kitten, and...
This is a radio play, narrator. We don't have to worry about physics.
Fine. Even though she was deeply shaken by the horrific incident of the living trees, Gretel kept on wandering into the deep, dark wood.
Deeply shaken. This narrator is the funniest clown I've ever heard in my life. No sanctuaries from the grueling thing we call life. Lost innocence. Hey, why do you guys even watch this stuff? What's the point the narrator is trying to make anyway? That life sucks? Some lesson.
And so she continued onward into the woods. A particular smell caught her attention. It felt familiar.
Oh, must be a dog.
She paused as she thought about what it could be. She swore she must have known it from somewhere.
It's a dog.
She paused to try to figure out what it was.
I said it's a dog already.
But before she could guess, it was too late. The massive, ragged beast with bloodshot eyes and black fur was behind her, snarling. Its lips curled to reveal a set of sharp teeth. It lunged at her, and...
Oh my god, it's a cat! Friend cat, hi, how's it going?
Pretty good, you?
I'm doing so good. I saw a raccoon today, can you believe that?
I can. Where are you from?
The house is up north. I came down here to play. So good to see you.
So good to see you too. Always nice to see a friendly face.
No. You were supposed to let the dog attack you so it could leave a scar on your face as a symbol of the cruelty of the world.
Well, he didn't want to. Dogs generally don't just, attack people out of nowhere. This is pretty bad storytelling. You should really know how to set up suspense, how to hit at later plot points, and...
I said you were wounded by the dog.
Oh, poor me, all on my lonesome in the dark, scary woods. I have been wounded by a dog. What a world, what a world.
That's more like it. Gretel was shaken by this cruel world. There was no refuge for poor souls like her. Bedraggled, tired, cold, and hungry, Gretel found a clearing in the forest under the half-pale moon, surrounded by violets and petunias. It was peaceful here, away from the chaotic world around her, a moment of refuge. Quietly, she drifted asleep.
Well, actually, these aren't even violets and petunias. I don't even think they often naturally grow here. These are coneflowers and forget-me-nots. Simple mistake, really. But you could tell those are coneflowers because of the shape of the center.
Enough, child! You have messed everything up. I am trying to tell a story here, a divine, heartbreaking story. Yet at every turn, something goes wrong because of you.
What kind of story?
A tragedy, a real story. I don't really want to tell a tragedy, but...
Who said tragedies have to be real?
Well, other storytellers have always told me to give up trying to tell lighthearted schlock. They never take you seriously for that sort of thing. Because real life isn't like that. It's stupid and silly to be optimistic.
It's not stupid, but even if that were true, this isn't real life at all. It's a story. It can be whatever you want it to be. I don't have to be a feline Ophelia made beautiful in suffering. Hell, being beautiful is overrated, I think.
But this has to be a good story, don't you hear? Even if it's one I don't like telling. And good stories, they say, are the sad ones.
They don't have to be. This doesn't even have to be a good story. It just has to be one you enjoy telling. Think about it. What's the thing that's wonderful about stories? It's not the story itself. It's technical brilliance or its skill. It's about how it makes people feel. And it doesn't have to be a sad feeling. It can even be a happy feeling or a funny feeling. What matters is that we all are in this wonderful experience of a radio play together. Isn't that something special no matter what the story is like?
You have a point.
Besides, maybe this all has been more realistic than the original idea of yours would be. The assassins aren't going to kill for no reason. Trees don't come to life and attack people in the first place, and dogs don't just attack without reason either. The world is, I think, kinder than you think it is.
I mean, yeah, but doing a fun story like that, one I'd like to tell, is scary. What if everyone hates it? What if...
Then let me help you. You're the main character now. This has been your story anyway, not mine. So the narrator got up and looked around them. The sky was clear, the grasses danced, and the breeze was cool and smelled of cities beyond. It was a good day to tell a story. It always had been. They went past dog prints that led to a little yellow house with a picket fence. They came across some tree stumps cut by the best chainsaw wielder there ever was.
Show off.
You know I'm right. And they walked past a pair of assassins who weren't as bad as they might be, and one of which would become a lawyer within the next year.
Hey, you hear that? She thinks I can be a lawyer, like I always wanted to be.
Of course you could. I always told you there was nothing stopping you. Lawyers and hitmen are equally trustworthy jobs.
And out of the forest towards their house, where they sat down to write a radio play with a happy ending, because nothing was stopping them. And because we always need happy stories, just as we do sad ones. So long, audience. I've been your narrator tonight.